Hello my friends, how are you? Sean Ferrick here for Trek Culture, and haven't we been spoiled with material for Star Trek Strange New Worlds this week? We've got our little individual character trailers that we've brought you breakdowns for, and we also have our first full trailer as well. In rapid succession, we got Spock, Una, Pike, and the full trailer. So for this video, I'm gonna consolidate those into this one. So I'm gonna be talking about all four of them in this one trailer. So keep an eye out for the things that you've seen throughout the different trailers. With that in mind, I'm Sean Ferrick for Trek Culture, and here are 11 things that you missed from the Star Trek Strange New Worlds trailers. Number 11, don't mind me. So the main trailer opens up with the shot of that cloud city that I likened in the past that potentially could be Stratos or the Cloud Minders. We get a shot of this interior debate that seems to be going on. The people in the room, they don't look as though they're the same race as those who were back on Stratos, so it could actually be a different planet. However, their debate is interrupted by Captain Pike just arriving in the middle of their debate. How are you? How he's getting on? How are you now? Hanson mounts cheeky little grin as Pike, which we see a lot of in these trailers, as he just arrives into the middle of them. And now, whether this is a deliberate interruption of this debate, or whether he was supposed to meet them in a different room and someone, looking at you, Kyle, delivered him into the wrong room, hard to tell. But what a great way to open this trailer and show this kind of fun, playful side of what Strange New Worlds is going to be. Number 10, Enterprise in the sky with diamonds. So I've loved this since it rocked up at the very end of season 1 of Star Trek Discovery. It's a beautiful, modernizing, yet still classic design of Matt Jeffrey's original Enterprise. This, of course, being redesigned by John Eaves for Star Trek Discovery. There doesn't seem to be a massive change to the ship going into Strange New Worlds. We know it got a little bit of a refit at the end of Star Trek Discovery's second season, what with a very awkwardly placed torpedo going off in the middle of its saucer section. Actually, the two nicest shots being in the main trailer, where we see it hovering in the sky, and in Una's trailer as well, where we get a lovely pan underneath the ship. As you all know, if there's one thing I like to watch of a Friday night when I'm on my own and feeling saucy, it's ship porn, and it looks like we're gonna get plenty of it in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Number 9, hourly classic. In the main trailer, we see Uhura and Spock and a couple of others beam down onto the surface of a comet that's heading toward a planet. Now, this definitely seems like it's going to be taking up an entire episode, because it looks like they're about to smash into a planet. And we get in Spock's trailer as well a shot of a planet exploding. So I kind of hope these are different things. The transporter sound as they arrive on the surface of this comet seems to be at least a direct lift from the transporter sound from the original series. So it's little details like that that tie it directly in with the original series while still allowing the update to happen. I love the way the transporter beam looks in this series as well. I think if we were to use the original one as a copy and paste, it probably wouldn't have aged as well. So I think it's been updated quite nicely for this. And then of course you have Uhura's. So I'm standing on the surface of a comet, and I love it. Number 8, it's a Spock off. Between the main trailer and between Spock's character trailer, we have scenes of him on Vulcan engaging in this ritual battle, of course, that we first saw in Amok Time. It's Lurpa v Lurpa, and there's a gong, and it looks like they have lovingly recreated this scene from Amok Time. Spock does say something in his trailer about how he had to prove himself past tense as a Vulcan while on the planet Vulcan. Now, we know, of course, that Spock is half human. So this suggests to me that a lot of these scenes are actually told in flashback. Having said that, T'Pring, his betrothed, does seem to be aboard the Enterprise. Now, we have seen via Star Trek Discovery that once you've mind melded with someone, you are able to communicate with them across vast distances, which is bloody handy, really, if I'm honest. So there's no guarantee that T'Pring is physically aboard the Enterprise, but she is very much in Spock's mind. Ethan Peck absolutely nailed his performance as Spock in Star Trek Discovery's second season, and especially in the Short Trek Q&A. I'm really excited to see where they go with this character, because Spock's one of those characters, we know so much about him, there's so much more to know. So seeing his relationship, they seem to be building up a relationship between him and Uhura, which I'm here for. And also, we do see as well that himself and Pike are very much continuing that friendly banter. We see them having a drink together. Now, I'll actually come back to that point in a few seconds. Number 7, Lieutenant Nyota Uhura. Are we getting time travel? We know Cadet Uhura is going to be serving aboard the Enterprise, but there is a 1-second shot of her in uniform with lieutenant's stripes on her arms. Are we going to get an alternate version of Uhura? Are we going to get a future version of Uhura? Are we getting flash forwards as well as flashbacks? Now, we know that filming for season 2 features Paul Wesley as James T. Kirk. Now, he's not in any of these trailers, but is this a suggestion that maybe the series finale will show us a little bit of time travel? If so, you cheeky, saucy minx, you Star Trek Strange New Worlds, I'm very interested to see where this goes. Are we going to get scenes where, you know, future crews and past crews interact with each other? It's 1 second, and it could end up being, as I have been known to get some things wrong in the past. It's okay if I say it, not if you say it. This could be completely a red herring. However, the uniform as well looks like such a lift from some of the uniforms that Nichelle Nichols wore in the original series, particularly with the large collar and the plunging neckline, which looks quite comfortable, to be honest. And yeah, okay, I'll try and get that for a future video. But yes, it's the lieutenant's bars that are the most interesting bit here. Very interested to see what version of Uhura we're going to see throughout Strange New Worlds. Number 6, buckle those swashes, Lieutenant Ortegas. Sword fights! Why not? We have Vulcans going mad at each other with Lurpas, and then we have Ortegas, and she is absolutely holding her own on this, I was going to say on this planet, because it looks like they're in this sort of wooded glade. However, there does seem to be vegetation having taken over the, well, initially I thought the Enterprise in one shot of the trailer, you know, because we see sickbay with a lot of flora taking over a lot of the corridor. So there's no guarantee that this swashbuckling is happening on a planet. Then I thought, hang on, is this the downed Constitution class that we've seen in nearly every one of the character trailers? You know, has it been overtaken by some sort of vegetation? Is this going to tie into my previous point of potentially time travel? I haven't got a clue, but how amazing does Ortegas look when she's like completely slashing the crap out of those people? I feel slightly bad for them because I don't think they're going to win that fight. I think classic shirtless George Takei is going to have a little bit of competition after this season. Number 5, Star Trek 6. This ain't your mama and daddy Star Trek, is it? There seems to be an awful lot of filth going on. And, you know, I'm here for it. We see there is a quick shot of Spock in bed with someone. Now, if you've been near the internet over the last few days, you'll have seen that some people have opinions about this. It has been well documented that Vulcans are fully capable of engaging in relations outside of the Ponfar time. Then again, we have no idea whether he's actually going through Ponfar right now or not. I'm just quite glad for Spock that he seems to be having some fun times. That's really good. And he's of course not the only one, because we also cut to Captain Pike having a lovely bit of banter in bed as well. I just, you know, was feeling a little bit hot under the collar watching this trailer. I was like, you know, what are you delivering for us there, Star Trek? You know, I didn't say turn it off. I didn't say turn it off. Turn it back on. Number 4. Is it Archer or is it Una? We see in that aforementioned scene where there's vegetation taking over sickbay, an Archer standing up, and we only see their hand. However, if we cut back to Una's character trailer, we see that that Archer is in fact Una. She seems to be quite the badass. In fact, Lieutenant Laan Noonien Singh, that is such a mouthful, comments on the fact that, you know, she's terrifying, but she says this with a smile. And especially because Una says that, well, I'll be your backup on this mission. And Laan just goes, you are fun. The character of Una Chin Riley on screen has been so unexplored, considering she is one of the oldest characters in Star Trek. You know, Spock, Pike and Number 1 were there in the cage 1966, but we finally get the chance to explore this character. Now, she has been explored in Apocrypha and in like a lot of beta canon, so let's see how much of that gets brought over. She does look like someone you absolutely do not want to mess with. We've seen this in some of Rebecca Romijn's performance so far. Based on what we're seeing in these trailers, she seems to be an absolutely capable, weapons handler person. I know a lot about these things, of course. Yeah, I'm just really excited to see how she got a reputation of being so terrifying on toward the crew of the Enterprise. Number 3, Orion and a Reman? There is one shot of Pike on his knees with a very Gimli-esque Orion standing in front of him. Now we can see that they have kept the makeup from Star Trek Discovery for the Orions, which of course makes sense. I'm not a fan. I think it's a little bit rubbery, but listen, I can get over it. Especially when beside this Orion is standing a creature that looks very, very like the Remans from Star Trek Nemesis and Star Trek Enterprise. Obviously, this is back in the past, so technically, we can have Remans walking around no problem. It's the Romulans that we didn't see on screen until Balance of Terror. But there's not been much mention of when the first time they met the Remans. We just know that we know very little about them. We know that they exist. Obviously, that conversation between Janeway and Picard in Nemesis. You can see the teeth and you can see the ears. It seems to be a slightly toned down version of the makeup, which means it could be a different creature altogether. As in the future, we've no idea what happened to the Remans. Now, this doesn't seem to be answering that question. Obviously, we're 100+ years before the destruction of Romulus. But it would be a bit nice to give the Remans a little bit more screen time, considering that if you add up their screen time in all of Star Trek's history, it comes to about 0.00000 point blah%. So, yeah, I'm all about it. Give me some more Remans. I like space vampires. Number 2, alternate takes on alternate worlds. So this is something that has been sort of mentioned throughout this trailer breakdown. We have what could be the Enterprise crashed on a planet, overtaken by vegetation. We have a scene of what looks like Uhura in like ceremonial garb, giving the live long and prosper salute at one point. We also have Lieutenant Uhura in one part as well. So what the heck is going on in Strange New Worlds? Are we hopping between universes? Are these mirror counterparts? Or are people just having a very busy first season? There's enough strange imagery going on that I haven't a notion what we're doing. The only thing that we do know for sure at this point is that it is set after the events of Star Trek Discovery's second season. Now that is confirmed. It was, listen, an educated guess you would have known it was, but it has been squarely stated now, and I'll address that again in the next point. What's going on with you people? Oh, maybe. I know the holodeck is said to be new in the Next Generation, but yeah, we could have holo adventures. Why not? Why not? Number 1, the chair in the room. This is more from Pike's individual trailer, and it's that we seem to be addressing head on the fact that he knows what's going to happen with the chair and the delta radiation. As he says to Spock when they're having that lovely banter over a drink, I see it everywhere, it's always following me. I will say this right now. I am so on board if they find a way to retcon this. Okay, yes, the menagerie, it's important that Pike is in the chair for Spock to act the way that he does. But effectively, the menagerie was the original series way of just making sure we watched the cage. I would be absolutely fine with them finding a way to retcon Pike out of the chair. Otherwise, we have an absolute deadline. You know, we know that it is going to, like, he's going to end up in the chair by about 2265, 2266. I like him far too much for that to happen. However, that could be the tragedy of the character. We won't be retconning this. He is always destined for that chair. I am very interested to see what way they take it in either direction, because this is a very established piece of Star Trek history, and yet Pike is still such an unexplored character that I don't want to face the concept of losing him, but having it there might just be, nope, this is set in stone, this is happening, and it's going to become one of his character traits through Strange New Worlds. There was an awful lot to get through. I've probably missed a whole ton, so let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember that you can catch us over on Twitter at Trek Culture. You can catch myself at Sean Ferrick on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, until the next trailer drops, or until I see you again, you look after yourselves. Make sure that you live long and prosper. You be good to each other. You be good to yourself. You be kind to yourself. And to my friends in Ukraine, we're thinking of you. Please be safe. Please be okay. All right, thanks very much, guys. Cheers.